Why does the black man serve the white man? Why does everything the black man do benefit the white man? Why does the black man say freedom is doing what I want to do? And why is it that everything he wants to do enriches the European?
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Peace, family. This is your brother, Mr. Holipsism. I'm doing this video because I was just thinking about this, and I'm sorry, I have to apologize. I haven't been doing videos as much. This has been a really hard and probably the worst year I've had so far, just on a personal level and with family and stuff, but I don't want to get into that. May talk about that, maybe, or maybe not. But right now, this is what I had on my mind. I think that our biggest problem as a community is the inability to departmentalize and maximize our human resources. And this is the reason why we have janitors and soldiers in the same think tank with scientists and engineers, and why we're all over the place, and why everybody feels that how they're looking at things is the right way to do it and everybody else is wrong, and it's this infighting and implosion going on amongst our community, for lack of a better word. And I feel that a nation state solves this problem. With an actual government and in the various branches of that government, which is what I call and what actually is the soft infrastructure of our nation, each person can get in where they fit in. You know, like if you're a militant person or you're interested in guns and fighting and stuff like that, then if we had a government and we had a military and defense branch of that government, then that would be a place for you to utilize your human resources. If you're interested in, let's say, you have interest in various countries in Africa and you're a specialist in a certain country in Africa, let's say Nigeria, and you know all about Nigerian culture and Nigerian ways of life, and you know all about the actual physical location. Maybe you've been there a few times, maybe you've studied and done books and papers and stuff like that. Then see, you would work for our State Department. You would be a cultural liaison, someone that would be quite useful in our international affairs. If you, let's say, were a teacher and you wanted to teach people certain skills or whatever, then obviously you would fit into our educational system, whatever that is. Right now, because we are ad hoc nation, meaning, you know, we're just scattered here and there, we operate as a nation. Well, I won't say operate as a nation, but we're looked and viewed upon as being a nation simply by virtue of aesthetic similarities. I've said this before. So people talk about the black community, but we don't move in an organized fashion as a black community. We're just a bunch of scattered individualists aligned by aesthetic similarities. We look the same. And if somebody looks at us, they can say that person is black, so therefore you are part of that black group. And as you know, that's not the most efficient way to run a society and run a community. But what I'm talking about is bigger than a community. I'm talking about a nation. And just looking at the problems that we have and just analyzing it over the years, it just becomes more and more obvious that the answer is nationhood. Because with a government, you have accountability. You don't have self-appointed leaders who nobody put in positions of power, you know, who are cutting deals while they're supposed to be liaisons between you and the white power structure. But in the meantime, they're cutting the check from the white power structure and leaving you out in the cold. So their needs are taken care of on an individual level, but the needs of the community are not addressed. So this is the dynamic that we have going on here in America. I can't speak for what's, like, I'm assuming that the same dynamic is going on in other parts, but I don't want to be presumptuous. I would much rather have somebody from the UK speak for the UK. I'm speaking for America because that's where I am. So this is not going to be a long video. I just want to say that this is something that I've thought about and I've analyzed, and I think that that's really a key problem with us. We have all of these human resources. We have all the elements of nationhood right now. We have mathematicians, we have scientists, we have people into technology, we have engineers, we have physicists, we have skilled labor, architects, construction. I mean, we have every aspect, and on the cultural side, we have cultural people like who have mastered. If you pick a country in Africa, you can find someone in America that knows everything about it. That's how much we've invested. We have so many people that have invested so much time and energy into the continent. So we have our cultural liaisons. We have everything that we need to establish a nation. And that's the frustrating part of everything. The frustrating part is that we're still having a debate on whether we should have a nation or not. And I'm appealing to the masses of the people. I'm not appealing to the intellectuals. I'm not appealing to the scholars. I'm not appealing to the people that everybody's looking at who's up on a stage or on a microphone. I'm appealing to you, the person listening to this video. If you want nationhood and you tell your friends and they look at the concept and they want it, eventually your leadership and your representatives are going to have to address that talking point. They're going to have to. But it's going to have to come from a grassroots level. You understand what I'm saying? So ultimately, the next move is in the hands of the masses, really. Because if the current leadership feels that they're in a position of power, they feel like they've totally confused you, they've got you going back and forth, you don't know what the hell to do. They got you marching up and down, they got you engaging in all types of stupid, ineffective protests and doing all these crazy things because they don't feel that you know what to do. So as long as you don't know what to do and they present themselves as having the answers and knowing what to do, they can cake out off of you, which is really what it's all about. It's about getting money off of you. It's not about helping the community or the nation as a whole, I should say. Stop using community. So that's all I got to say on that. And I'm probably going to be spitting a couple of more vids and talking about a few more things. But I'll just say this. My concentration is on the overall structure. What do we need to do if we collectively as black African people want to have a future, especially black African people here in America? Because like I said, I don't want to be presumptuous and speak for another country, another region of the world. I can only speak for America, and I can only speak for what I feel and try to reflect the feelings of my people by talking to them and communicating with them and getting a vibe as to what it is that they want. And I believe that they want power. They're tired of being second and third class citizens. They want power. But they may not quite know how to get it. And because you have so many people out here throwing turds in a punch bowl and talking a whole bunch of, throwing out wolf tickets that they can't cash, if people don't know this information, then they confused. They don't know who to follow because we put them into that leader-follower mode that I hate so much, which is the reason why I don't tell anybody to follow me, because who the fuck am I? I'm just a dipshit on YouTube giving my thoughts and opinions just like everybody else. I don't want nobody to follow me. I'm not no damn expert. And I think that part of my appeal, as far as I can tell, I'm no different than the person who's listening to me right now. I have my thoughts and opinions on how things should go or how I see the world, and I give it out. Nobody has to listen to me. I don't have any position of power, so it's not like I can mobilize the black community to do a damn thing. All I'm doing is expressing how I feel based on my experience, based on my learning, the things that I've learned in my studying, and looking at the picture and analyze it from every which way. The answer is nationhood. We need an African, a black African independent nation where we can vote our representatives in who we want to represent us, and then hold them accountable when they don't follow through on the things that they promise. Until then, what we're going to have is what we have now. Self-appointed leadership accountable to nobody and made no promises to nobody. And so if they don't work for you, tough day for you. You know what I'm saying? And the black leadership loves things to be just the way that they are right now. So if you want to change the game, start speaking to your church pastors, start speaking to your representatives, your councilmen, your assemblymen, your congressmen, your senators. Start speaking to the people that claim they represent your interests and say, what about Israel for black people? I mean, that's the simplest way to do it. It's sort of like how they did with Obamacare. It's like Medicaid for all. Well, nation state is basically Israel for black people. You know, Israel for descendants of African slaves. How about that? Put that on the table, and then your representatives have got to address it, even if they denigrate it and put it down. They're going to have to know that this is what's on your mind, and that you are thinking outside the paradigm of what they've picked for you to think about. And on that note, I'll holler at you good people later. Peace.